Good evening, folks. Steve Stratford here tonight. Pratt Kettle Chat between the CME futures today and the box beef prices with the checkoff referendum we're all talking about here. I guess they've put a lot of quarters in me today, so I'm on here to do a little cattle feeding lesson or comparison or bring some things to light to some people that may not be in the position to know or understand. So as of the close today, after they beat up the fat cattle board, you have an August fat cattle futures at 117. So let's do some backwards math. You got a 1,450 pound steer fat in August at 117. That's $1,696.50. Put 500 pounds on him with today's corn cost to the feed yard at $1.30 cost to gain all in, which I don't know that you can do that, but that's what we're going to figure on a big fleshy 950 weight. That's $650 in feed cost. That leaves you $1,046.50 to buy that 950 pound steer. He has to be bought at 110 delivered to the yard. Most sale barns, it's between commission and of the order buyer and freight to the yard, it's going to be $2. So you're, for a feed yard today in the sale barn to buy a steer that will break even, not lock in a profit, not make money, break even, he needs to buy that steer at 108. 30 days ago, that steer was bringing 130 to 140 when the futures market was $7, $8 higher. In that time frame that your 9-weight steers devalued $20, $30 a hundred, box beef prices have went up $30 a hundred. The opposite direction. Your 9-weight steer that you've raised, put out on wheat, you've owned for a year, has devalued $30 a hundred, and the product he turns into has went up 30 a hundred. So next time you're talking to your state NCBA affiliates, here it'd be KLA or NCBA, ask them if that's in the trigger concept, if that's set any trigger that they're going to call them to any action. If that doesn't work, I wonder if they set up a trigger that if June live hogs were higher than June live cattle, which that happened today. June live hogs closed at 113.55, June live cattle at 113.02. First time I've seen it in my life. So I guess that's what's telling you. You need to go out and buy all the $4.99 pork chops you possibly can, because in June they're going to cost $19.99 at the grocery store, if it's a true comparison. So you've got box beef at record levels, the fat board declining, the feeders declining, and the packers making gross margin today with $301.22 choice boxes, $283.91 select boxes, a pen that grades 75% choice, $2.97 box beef price. Steer yield 64%. That fat's worth $1.90 this week with the June futures. The way things are, let's pretend we trade at 115. That's a $75 a hundred margin for the Packers. $75 a hundred on a 1,450 pound steer is $1,087 gross margin. They kill 580,000 to 600,000 of them a week. That's not including kill cows. So the packing sector is getting along pretty good, it looks to me like. That's a gross margin of $600 million this week. $1.2 billion in 2 weeks. Just think across the country, out of all these real economies, what that's sucking out of there, that the 4 major corporations that are over 50% foreign owned are sucking out of the real economies. I think that what does that to the fall calf prices, when these feed yards that have come and given big prices and good prices to the producers for what they produce are closing out losers, and how they're going to adjust their prices on what they buy next time. And that's what we need to keep in mind. I mean, these feed yards and these sale barns, a lot of producers leave, and I hear them, well, they robbed them, or well, we give them away, or, they bought them cheap, so on and so forth. folks, there ain't been a cheap calf or a cheap feeder sell the day he sold for 5 years. I mean, these feed yards and sale barns and order buyers are your friends. I mean, they're the ones in there with the competitive market bidding against each other every time, week in, week out, giving more for these cattle than they're worth on the futures board to lay them off. Betting on the come, and that's going to end. I mean, if we have no correlation between our product and the price of our fat cattle, then eventually that's going to get adjusted, or the guys in there competing aren't going to be in business, and you're going to have less competition, and then you're going to see what stealing them means. So I guess with all those comparisons, I'd like to add one more, and this is on the note of the checkoff reform. Since 1984, when the checkoff went in, beef consumptions went from 80 pounds per capita to 60 pounds per capita. We lost 20 pounds. Now do a graph on packer margins since 1984. See what that's done. See what cow-calf profitability in this country's done, other than the short little spell during the drought that got the numbers in our favor. And the packers' margins were still the same. They were long the board, and they might have been printing that they were killing in red ink, but they jumped on board with the funds and got long the board. The funds are long the grains. The funds are long oil, everything else. All commodities are going up. The cattle are so manipulated, I don't even think that the funds want to mess with them. Hence why June live hogs are higher than June live cattle today. But I implore you to bring this to notice to any state and federal official that you can, whether that's letters, emails, phone calls. I beg you to find a way to get on www.checkoffvote.com and sign the electric petition, or message any one of the people that are working so hard at it to get you a paper copy to signature, and get everybody that you know to be aware and get out there and be proactive in some way. This has got to change. These levels are not sustainable at today's fixed input costs. $70,000 pickups and $400 a ton cake, and repair bills that are crazy, and $3 gas, and these beef producers can't do this. And it's not a lack of value of the product. It's not a lack of value in the chain. It's a lack of any ability to catch the margin that belongs to the people that do all the work. So, like I say, the quarters were put in me today. I hope this helps some people understand the dynamics here. If anything I can do to help, give me a call, 620-546-1789. And, remember, the checkoff reform, 5014, neither of those are the golden key to fix it, folks. But both of those show some kind of backbone, some kind of spine, and both will help a little. And if we'll start doing that and start garnering some attention, we might be able to rewrite this ship. But sitting here doing absolutely nothing, saying you should sign the petition, or boy, you would, and not doing it, doesn't do a damn thing. I mean, we have got to be active here. We've got to get something done. We've got to show we make a stand. For God's sakes, we're cowboys, folks. Let's grab a spine, grab your balls, and let's get something done. Thank you.